It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you're watching First Warning Live, where we focus on all things weather, but sometimes we get hungry. It's just something that naturally happens, and it's like having a pizza party, so our sponsor is Marco's Pizza. Did I mention to you what we're counting down, saying bye-bye 2025? We're going to say hello to 2026 in just a few short hours. The question is, will you be ready? My question to you was it cold enough for you today? Because I captured during the 3 o'clock hour this afternoon, I saw 30 below, well, not really 30 below, it was like negative 30, meaning the temperature was 30 degrees colder in Chesapeake at 3 p.m. as compared to 3 p.m. the day before. I mean, amazing. This was just like Monday compared to today. It was 28 degrees colder in Kitty Hawk, 20 in Jackson and Franklin. It was cold. And now that we're counting down the year to 2026, the question is, are you going to be ready for some changes? I got some notes. Did I get a note from Jason? I found this fascinating. I wanted to give Jason a recognition. He has put out a comment as of about 23 hours ago. He says, we're going to get a whole bunch of snowstorms after January 10th. Now, either Jason is brilliant, on the mark, spot on, or he's missed the mark. Which is it? I'm going to talk about that coming up and what I think we're going to see after January 10th, or maybe even into January. You might be surprised to hear my answers, so hang with me. We're still talking about the cold, though. I have to tell you this. Our lows this morning, are you ready for this? Was 30 degrees, but not everybody was 30. Oh, not everybody was 30. I got to go back and change my gear here. Let me see if I have the right display, because sometimes I get my wrong display on here and it gets it all messed up. There it is. Let's fly back in. It was 30 degrees in Norfolk at precisely 7:55 a.m. That's 5 minutes before 8. And it was 27 in Franklin, Suffolk, Chesapeake, 26 Elizabeth City. It was cold. I was expecting 29. That's where Virginia Beach finished. And Hampton, you were at 28, so was Newport News. Now, if it wasn't cold enough for you then, how about the high? We didn't even crack 40 in most cases. I was expecting 43, 42 would have been reasonable, and Edenton hit 42, but most of us got in the upper 30s. That's it. Ahoskie, 39. Franklin, 39. Wakefield, 38. Norfolk, 39. And we hit 39 at 1:56 p.m. So we didn't even do it in the middle of the afternoon. Well, I guess the middle afternoon was before 2 p.m. But it wasn't coming at 3 or 4 or 5 in the afternoon. We pretty much hit our maximum before 2 o'clock today. That's how cold this little sudden stratospheric warming event had an effect on us about 30 days later. And I do want to mention the temperatures right now, 35. Current reading right now, 35 in Portsmouth, 30 in Suffolk. These are your current readings. Cape Charles at 35, but we're still running 10, 15, almost 20, about 18 colder degrees in Elizabeth City than we were this time last night. I mean, it's amazing. But if you've got a comment, we'd love to say hi to you. Kim Thompson-Jones remembers I mentioned we had a front-end loaded winter, which meant we were going to see winter. I said this around before Halloween. Well, that's the end of October. I said we're going to get some snow, probably in November, December, early January. That's it. And then you stick a fork in it. It goes, maybe end up popping the balloon. That's it. Because I think we're going to see some changes. And I can explain why I support that thought in just a moment. But she remembers me saying it, that I thought we would probably have a cold end of the year, and here it is. 30 days later, we had, I think I showed this map. Again, just for those of you that doesn't have the benefit of what I showed before, but back on the 1st of December. This is the 1st of December. Here's the date, bottom right. This is not a forecast from NOAA. This is an actual temperature analysis at 70 millibars, which is roughly about 10 or 11 miles up in the atmosphere. This is the stratosphere. It's where models don't even live, right? Models are la-la, they don't see this. So why do I look at it? Because warm air rises, cold air sinks. And if you give it 30 days, sometimes 40, it'll eventually come back down. And boy, did it ever come back down. You could see that it did race back down. It was centered over places like James Bay and Lake Superior. But now we've gotten really cold. Yesterday was 68, the warmest day of December. Today, we didn't even crack 39 or 40. We hit 39, but not even 40. And what's amazing is that today's temperature of 39 was tied for the second coldest day of the month. Isn't that weird? Because I'm a note taker. Today, we were 29 degrees colder than yesterday. We tied Tuesday, December 9th. That was the second coldest day of the month. But the coldest was Monday, December 15th, when the high was 32. Oh, I remember that. That was a cold day. When the high was 32, That was December 15th, all this year. You can go up and down. You can look at the numbers. They're not going to mislead you. It's been cold. And if you look at the actual wind chill right now, it feels like it's 29 in Hampton, 30 in Suffolk, and 26 Virginia Beach. How windy was it today? Well, I can tell you yesterday we had a peak gust of 39. 39, that's pretty strong. Yeah, it was even higher in Hampton. Hampton, I believe, was 44. But it was 24. So it was about 20 miles an hour less in most cases today. Newport News had a 30 gust. We had a 25 peak gust in Norfolk. It was windy, breezy, but it made it worse because it was cold. Now let's get to the planning. Let's face it, we've got to plan for a new year. So on your screen is my best representation of what I think we're going to see in the coming hours. So if you make plans, and maybe you're headed to, Town Center, maybe you're headed to Waterside, maybe you're headed to the Virginia Zoo for their New Year's Eve. Like that? New Year's Eve. They got some things going on from 9:30 tomorrow morning to 12:30 for the little kids, and they say Happy New Year's Eve. And that goes on tomorrow. But I think for those who are going to be maybe at Waterside, spending $88 for 4 drink tickets and some party favors, you're going to be around 40. About 40 degrees, if not the upper 30s. The winds, I had to increase those winds. Why? Because they're going to be generally out of the southwest. Think of it as a partly to mostly cloudy sky. Partly to mostly cloudy sky. Winds are going to be pretty busy. You need proof? It doesn't look very windy tonight because at 11 o'clock it's down to 9. It drops down to 10, the peninsula, projected by this particular model. Now the Outer Banks might be a little breezier in the morning, but generally 10, 11 Albemarle, not that windy. But boy, does it pick up later in the day. There's noontime. I see 22 Outer Banks. What do you see? I see 19. Seems like it's getting a little bit stronger. Oh, look, we're just a few hours from 2026. By Wednesday at 9 o'clock. How do you know? I'm looking up here because there's the timestamp, and we're right up to 26. And that wind is coming up from the southwest, so it's going to be a warm wind. We won't be cooling as rapidly as we are right now. But I do think the winds are going to pick up a little bit right before the new year, and you can see that illustrated here by the latest model information. Up to 29 Outer Banks, 10 o'clock, that's midnight. Happy New Year. We got a gust around 23 south side, so there's still going to be some gusts, but I think it's generally southwest 10 to 15 with higher gusts at midnight and even at 1 a.m. if you're really up late heading into the new year. Speaking of the new year, well, we wish everybody a happy new year. We can say goodbye to 2025, put a 6 in there and replace it with a 45-degree temperature. I do think there's a 10% chance we get some snowflakes. Right now it seems like it's around Williamsburg. Don't expect it for Elizabeth City, sorry. No concerns for Duck, sorry. No concerns for Virginia Beach, but maybe Williamsburg gets a few flakes or some raindrops. Wouldn't surprise me. You'll see that on the Futurecast coming up in just a moment. But Happy New Year to you, because no matter what your plans include, if it's with family, if you're friends, you just want to hang out with your neighbors, I've got us in the mid-40s for the next 2 days, 46 and 45. If you're on the call, this would be a great time to say hi. I'll take a breath. Just to remind you that you can save some money tonight on a Pozzoli. I'm always looking to save you some money. If you haven't tried Marco's Pizza, this is the very item I tried first. Before I even tried their pizza, mind you, I tried their Pozzoli. It's like a calzone. It's like a stromboli, but my personal favorite is the pepperoni and sausage. They got 4 varieties. Usually you'll pay $7.99, $6.99, maybe $5.99, but you just pay $5. Because if you use the promo code WTKR, David, that's our call letters and my first name, magically the Pozzoli will suddenly be priced at $5. Isn't that cool? And you can share it. There's no harm in it. It's the deal of the week. I like to point this out. Now, not every place in Marco's is going to honor this promo code, but these 6 locations will. So if you use 3 in the Virginia Beach, that's Virginia Beach Boulevard, Princess Anne Road, Independence Boulevard, in the 757. They're all good to use that promo code. And Chesapeake has 2 locations, one in Kempsville Road and Battlefield Boulevard, and Hampton Boulevard in Norfolk. All will participate. We're also giving away free pizza. I want to emphasize our web address, because if you haven't registered on Thursday, yes, New Year's Day, yours truly will be here. I'll be here to help you out, and I'll let you know we're giving away pizza for a year. I mean, that saves you a lot of money if you get pizza for a year. And if you get it next month, you'll be able to use it in January, February, all 12 months. You get basically a large, not basically, you get a large 1-topping pizza every month for free if your name is attached to that. And we will draw that name randomly if you go to our webpage, WTKR.com. Marco's is the place to order the Pozzoli, but if you want to register to satisfy your appetite for a year, sign up. That pizza looks really good right now. I don't know about you, but I would love to see what you're thinking right now. And if you have some comments, I'm going to import those comments right now. I just have to basically, I guess, redirect. Is that the right word? I guess redirect the post so that the comments that are coming in tonight show up on my system, because not always will they show up if I toggle it on incorrectly. Got some new comments here. Let's see if I pop on this. Let's see here. Taj, I think, is following up with, he said, I've had every one except the classic. Maybe he's talking about Pozzoli. I don't know, but if he is, I fully embrace all of them. I love the dipping sauce. If you make sure you get the pizza cup marinara, the ranch, or the garlic sauce, it makes it even tastier in my view. A little shout out to my new friend, Crystal. Crystal Simpson, isn't it nice to see you? See, again, she's figured this out too. Kudos to Crystal. See what she's done? She supplied Facebook a picture, not one that's like far away, like really arms, like close up. I can see her beautiful face, and it looks like her significant other. There's Crystal Simpson. Everybody, Happy New Year to you, Crystal. I'm glad that you're here watching live. You could be doing a whole lot of other things, but I'm certainly glad you're here, because I'm going to hopefully do my best to give you the first warning of what to expect in 2026 weather-wise, which I'm going to do right now. So let's get back to the weather. I mentioned Happy New Year. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny. New Year's Day, Thursday, partly cloudy. About 46, 45. Now the satellite radar tonight, just mostly clear. But overnight tonight, it'll become partly cloudy, in part because of this trough. This broken black line is a line of instability. It might help facilitate a few extra clouds that'll drop down. Now the snow you see coming down off the Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, they're going to stay there. Those are lake effect snow showers. They don't have the legs. They don't have the distance. They're not marathon runners. They'll stay put. But the weather headlines, as we look at the beautiful ocean front. There have been a parade of cars just moving along like so. There's one car right there, I see it. Isn't it pretty? You've got all the holiday lights along the ocean front, and I think the time is running out. I know that Winterfest, the one that's on the Battleship Wisconsin, will be expiring tomorrow. You have some chances to see the snowball countdown. They're doing some fun stuff with, I guess they're not real snowballs. I'm pretty sure they're like Nerf balls that are colored white, and they do, I don't know, they have a little snowball countdown, snowball contest. They can do that at Battleship Wisconsin. I'm thinking Winterfest, this of course holiday lights, but you're running out of time, clearly because we're running out of the new year. Now if you like cold air, and there's some of you within the sound of my voice, you're going, that's me. If you like cold air, you're going to love this week. You are, you're going to love it. I mean, what's finally taking place from that sudden stratospheric warming event back on the 1st of December is now showing signs of knocking on the doorstep on the 30th and 31st. So now if you like cold air, and if you like the cold air this week, well, it's going to be chilly as we bring in the new year. Partly to mostly cloudy. We've covered that a little bit. The next rain chance, however, will come in Saturday afternoon and night, but mainly in North Carolina. And I can go one step further because I look at this stuff every day. I look at it pretty extensively. The data today would suggest any rain we see on Saturday is going to be south of Duck. How many of you are watching right now from Duck? Maybe you know somebody in Duck. I don't expect it to rain in Duck. Rodanthe? Yeah, I think you have good chance of getting rain in Rodanthe Saturday. Hatteras? Yes. Ocracoke? Yes. Cape Fear, Wilmington? Yes. I think they'll get some rain because it's a southern slider. It's not going to be an equal opportunity rain chance, although I'll leave it at 30% because some of these storms can wiggle. They can move 50 miles, even 100 miles from day to day based on the change in the data. But right now I left a 10% chance for a flake or a drop in the peninsula for Thursday. That's what we see here with the 10% here, and a 30% chance for what? I'm talking about PM North Carolina on Saturday. Now what this may look like, as you can see the timestamp here, it's 3 a.m. I said afternoon, right? So you've got a storm, center of low pressure. It's coming in from Texas. It's actually dropping down from Montana to Texas, Texas to Georgia, and Georgia to South Carolina by midday Saturday. But it's not raining here, Aldrich. I know, because I said it would be PM. It would be afternoon and evening. Now, will it get everywhere by that point, 5 o'clock? It's certainly raining around Wilmington, around Wrightsville Beach, and certainly maybe approaching areas around Hatteras, but will it make it all the way to Rodanthe? Maybe. I mean, but again, this is just today's model run, and this is just one model with one individual opinion. But if it moves, I don't know, 25, 50, 100 miles further north, suddenly you've got showers in Virginia Beach, and you go, I wish you would have told me you could have rain. It's possible, my friend. I left a 30% chance but it's mostly right now centered in areas of North Carolina. It's just a southern system that exits stage right, just like that. And so by Sunday, there's not much left to see. All right, tonight's lows, however, everybody's going to participate in the cold. 25 in Suffolk, 25 Elizabeth City, 30 for Duck, 29 Cape Charles. And lows in Norfolk, Melfa about 26, Matthews 25, Newport News and Smithfield about 27. Tomorrow looks great for the Virginia Zoo. Remember, I mentioned that starts at 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 for their noon Year's Eve. I think we go from 28 to 40. And much like today, our top wind gust today, I believe, was 26. Tomorrow will be about 25, pretty close to it, but it might get a little stronger at night, as we illustrated as well, and expect a partly to mostly cloudy sky by 7 o'clock in the evening. Now, just to see who's watching, I like to do the trivia. Now, this is the same trivia question we aired at noontime today. Our good friend and senior meteorologist in the morning, Miles Henderson, had this question, and I think it's a great question. It applies. It's apropos. What is the record low for the month of December in Norfolk? I mean, the coldest record low in the month of December. Is it A, 5 degrees, B, 15 degrees, or C, 25 degrees. You got a chance here, about 30 seconds. I'm going to check and see if you have any questions, answers. Maybe there's some smart people watching. I know we get some smart people watching. Kim Thompson-Jones is quick on the draw. She says A. She says it's A, 5 degrees. Do I have any other takers? I don't know if we have any other takers, but we'll find out. We'll see which one. And I think she said A. And I believe A is the right answer. It is 5 degrees. It was actually this date, because today is December 30th. 1917, that was a long time ago, Aldrich. I know it was a long time ago, but I don't know if anybody was alive during that time. It was a long time ago, right? 2025 minus 1917, what are you looking at? 108 years ago. You probably are not going to be old enough to remember, but maybe a grandparent who's passed on remembers 1917, long time ago. But thankfully, we're not that cold. This cold air that's come down was modified as it came down the Ohio Valley and worked its way to Hampton Roads. Temperature trend for the next 5 days has us pushed near 50 here on Friday, but it's still well below the mark of average. And the average and the normal in weather is used interchangeably. Tomato. Is it a normal high or is it the average high? It's based on 30 years, so 52 is what you would expect, but that's not where it should be, right? It is what it is. It's like telling the ocean. I always tell people this. It's like you would never say the ocean, you should be here. No, it's sometimes a low tide in the morning, it's high tide in the afternoon. You don't control it. I don't control it. It's just what it is. But if you average it out, it's like, I guess if this is low tide, this is high tide, it should be in the middle. That's nonsense. But we live that way in weather. I mean, it's just something that people do. But we are going to be well below normal for the next 5 days. Get used to it. By the way, the polar vortex, we showed this before, counterclockwise motion, when there's a displacement, when you get a disruption, such as what we had back on the 1st of December. We got this big sudden warming event that took place naturally occurring over James Bay and north of Lake Superior. I say give it 30 days. It's no different than when you're stand-up paddleboarding and you looked at the forecast and the weather was supposed to be great, and then some guy in a speedboat, or some lady, speeds by and gives you crazy waves and you fall off and then you're into the water, right? You didn't see that coming. Well, guess what? A lot of people didn't see this cold spell coming because they weren't looking at 10 or 11 miles up in the sky. But yours truly was, and now there it is. It's knocking on the door. So we have cold air, but I have good news for you. If you look at today's map, you ready for today's map? It doesn't look that cold. In fact, this is today's date. Look, December 30th. What's 25, 30, 40 days from, let's say 30 to 40 days from now, would be the end of January. And if you look at it even more closely, there's not a lot of warm air there. So it's not to say that winter is going to end abruptly, as we had that correct A response from Kim. But I don't think winter is going to have the same bite as far as the cold air as we move into the end of January. I think it's really going to change or turn a page by the time we hit Dr. Martin Luther King Day, which is the 19th of January. So we'll see how this plays out. I do suspect that we will see, as this cold air continues to infiltrate, we've got some cold days between now and the early part of January, but I do think the tide is turning. There's not a lot of evidence. I think there's not a lot in the tank for really, really cold air, and you need that ingredient. I know you like to marry the marriage of moisture and cold air brings a big snowstorm like we had February 19th. I just don't see it this year, not in 2026. But I could be wrong, and if I have to eat crow, I'll eat it. It's not the first time, but my suspicion is that winter has basically been front end loaded. And when you look back, you'll say Williamsburg got 3, 4, 5 inches of snow. Yorktown got 3, 4, 5 inches of snow. And we got about an inch. That's it in Norfolk. If you go back to Veterans Day pre-dawn and you go back to the 0.8 we had on the 8th of December, that was it. And maybe it. That may be all we see. We'll have to wait and see. You can see the upper air pattern just in the last 24 hours has changed. How do I know? Because if you look at Elvis's birthday, all my Tennessee fans know exactly when Elvis's birthday is. It's the 8th. It looked really cold last night on the 8th of January. It looks a little cold around January 4th, but now January 8th looks kind of mild. Look, I mean, it's turning orange. That's January 9th. So, it's like it's going to be hard to be the fish swimming upstream. And I know that we're not living in Rochester, New York. We're not living in Detroit or Cleveland where they get snow more commonly. But if something changes, I'll be sure to let you know. But as I go back to that Jason note from earlier on, he said we're going to get snowstorms after the 10th. I don't see it. I don't see it. Now, we can prepare for more cold in the short term, but I don't see a whole lot going down into the middle of the second half of January. I think it's going to change back to more milder air. 39 our temperature was our high today, record high 78 from 2019. This was 29 degrees colder than yesterday. This was the warmest day of the month. This was the tied for the second coldest day of the month, which was 3 weeks ago, right? 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, it was the 9th of December, and then we had the 15th of December when it was actually 32 degrees. That's the coldest day of December. And it looks like tomorrow, again, we're looking for highs around 46. So if you put that in perspective, that'll also be below normal. That'll give us 21 here. 3 weeks below normal. It's really hard to overcome that if you're a warm weather fan. You've had to grim and bear it. Like I said, front-end loaded winter. December will not be, or I should say January will not be as cold as December, as I see it. Now, other people might disagree with me. We'll have to wait and see for sure. If you're on the call, this is a great time to say hi to all those who might be watching. Taj Brown was guessing 15 degrees. Hang in there, buddy. You're usually impeccable, but not tonight because you picked the wrong answer. The answer was 5 degrees. Coldest 5 degrees from 1917. I didn't know it either, so don't feel bad. I had to look it up. By the way, just a good reminder as we head into the new year, if you don't have our First Warning weather app, this is a great time to download it because we're going to be quickly moving into severe weather season before you know it. I say before you know it because if we start on a mild note into February, who knows, we could start a lot sooner with severe weather breakouts across the country, and maybe you want to be informed in the know. Our weather app is a great tool to have in addition to and in conjunction with a NOAA weather radio. Now, as far as airport delays, looks pretty good. Not much to see here. It's 8:02. You can see from the map, if you're in the military, you got family out west. Looks pretty quiet, although California had a really wet Christmas. They had a lot of rain in the Los Angeles area. Now it looks like it's stopped in most cases, but they have some clouds and a few showers. If we move further north, looks quiet across maybe Montana, a few extra clouds there. Snow, perhaps, maybe some cloud cover. Mixing in there around Milwaukee and Chicagoland. Some snow streamers coming off of Lake Erie, downwind of Buffalo, and off the coast of Lake Ontario into the Syracuse area, where they're getting some pileups there. Typically, you can get 1 or 2 inches an hour from some of those bands, but if you stand away from the fire hose of the snow, you get nothing. It's kind of a feast or famine. By the way, temperatures right now, 27 as of 8 o'clock. Chesapeake, 28, Suffolk, 31, Virginia Beach. Temperature right now, 29, Smithfield, 36 in Nags Head, Manio, and on Roanoke Island, it's 32 in Elizabeth City. Can you believe it? It's below freezing. Below freezing in places like Ahoskie, Windsor, Bertie County. Hereford's at 30. Franklin, you're at 26. I mean, do you have an extra log on the fire? I mean, it's only 8 o'clock and it's 26. That's cold. Smithfield, 29. It's already in the teens for our friends in Beckley, which is just about 350 miles to our west. It's 31 in Virginia Beach and 29 in Washington, D.C. and New York City. And certainly you can probably take a little telestrator like I've got here and just kind of carve out where the cold air is. It's like dip down. It's affecting areas in the Great Lakes, the Ohio River Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and it's affecting a good part of North Carolina, even here in Hampton Roads. But the worst of the cold certainly is northwest of here, and eventually that will relax we will see that relax. Temperatures are still in the sub-zero category from Island Lake, Fort Severn, Pickle Lake Airport, love the name there, and then Lynn Lake Airport at -17. So if you want to go to Canada, be my guest. That's not where I want to be when it's that cold. I might consider going there to visit, maybe in the beginning of summer. Anyway, future temps. Look how cold it is in white. Much of Canada stays cold in the short term. There's the 5th. There's the 6th, and I'm looking at 5,000-foot temperatures. That's a good critical level to look at in meteorology. You can see it's dropping down in the Dakotas, Montana, as well as into Nebraska, but it does moderate a little bit as we head toward the middle of the month. And clearly, the Climate Prediction Center does not see it getting colder over here. In fact, it's beginning to relax a little bit, and some of this will try and move where? It's going to move over here. So we will have some warmer days. I don't think, as I look at these numbers, I don't think that January is going to be nearly as cold, not nearly as cold as December. And a good indication of that is just from looking at today's temperature analysis at 10, 11 miles up. Most of the warming that's going on is practically on the other side of the globe. And yesterday, December 29th, it was there too. So by the time you get a little closer to home, there's not going to be a whole lot to push down. That's not to say we couldn't get some cold air, but I don't think it's going to be necessarily as widespread as it is right now. That's the outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Let's get to wrap things up. The Eastern Shore here at 8:06, 39 my expectation for Onancock, Bloxham, and Saxes. Our friends in Chincoteague can expect a partly cloudy day there in the upper 30s, 42 for Cape Charles, Exmoor about 40. More sunshine for our friends at Kill Devil Hills, 44. Nags Head, Manio, 44. Wanchese, Roanoke Island, Duck at 45. And Rodanthe, mid-40s, about 47 for Ocracoke and 46 for Hatteras. The good news is, as we are still going to be focused on severe weather going into the months ahead, good news here, I don't see much in the way of color at all. Until now, and 7 a.m. looks pretty quiet across the country. Wednesday, no different. Thursday, no different. It is one of those quiet weather patterns across the lower 48. So let me take you to the most interesting map that does throw a snowflake near Williamsburg. If that's all I got, I might as well show it to you because I just don't see much beyond that. And that might happen around sunrise on New Year's Day if, and it's a big if this model verified. It shows at 11 o'clock tonight we got clouds here and we got clear skies here. So it's like a split. And if we take this one step further, by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, there might be some snow way up there toward Maryland or Delaware. I'm looking way up here at the top of the screen, but that's not the snow I think would happen on New Year's Day. We start Wednesday morning, really, really sunny for North Carolina, and partly cloudy for a good part of Hampton Roads and up toward I-64 headed toward Williamsburg and the peninsulas. But if I carry this further, by midday tomorrow, sunny, sunny, sunny across the board. Hey, I love the sunshine, and the winds drop to about 10 or so. But by the time it gets dark, the clouds come back. In some cases, it's mostly cloudy. Other cases, it might be partly cloudy like Exmoor or Chincoteague. But once we move into 10 o'clock, now we're getting closer to the ball drop. The confetti comes out. It's midnight. Happy New Year. We still have some winds and we have some clouds. But what happens interestingly at 6, or certainly 7, is a little bit of snow. Ooh, is that a flake? Looks like a flake to me. Did you leave any chance of rain on Thursday? I did. I left 10%. 10%, that's not much. Exactly. So like I said, if it's all I got to show you, then it's all I got to show you. But there's not a whole lot here. It's just a few, maybe a few flakes form, and somebody calls and notifies social media, hey, we got snow in Williamsburg. Did anybody predict this? Okay, maybe. But it's not going to stick around. It's going to dry up. And if you need more evidence on that, I'll go ahead and show you with the next frame. Because if that's 7 a.m., by 9 or 10, it's gone. And it's going pretty quickly. And the sun's back out. So you can enjoy the rest of your football viewing on New Year's Day. And not much more to see beyond that. Sun and clouds for the rest of your Thursday. Now it's now 8:08. I'm expecting temperatures in the mid to upper 20s overnight. The Norfolk Admirals now working out their contract issues. Look like they're back on Friday, so I love that. So the Scope will be a place to be on Friday if you haven't had plans set for that. But tonight's lows will be about 24 Franklin 27 Virginia Beach, 30 in Duck, and again 26 in Norfolk Melfa. I think is within reason. About 25 for Chesapeake, 24 for Moyock. Tomorrow afternoon we make it in the mid 40s. That's my expectation. Lots of sunshine as you can see here. Partly cloudy perhaps as we head into Thanksgiving, into Thursday. Thursday of course is New Year's Day. Highs Wednesday 45 Franklin, 45 Elizabeth City and Duck, 44 Virginia Beach. And if we make it to 45 in Corolla, Moyock about 46 for Hertford, Waverly about 45. Here's your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. So we got 46 Wednesday, 45 on Thursday. We're near 50 on Friday, but we're well below 52 for the entire 7-day period. My warmest day is in fact next Tuesday, but if we nudge 50 here, that wouldn't surprise me. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Best chance of rain for North Carolina comes in the afternoon and evening. It's a southern slider, and again, any track change on that will determine whether or not we get any rain in Hampton Roads. Right now, it looks like it wants to trend south of Duck. So I just arbitrarily picked Duck as probably the inflection point. Let's assume we can get some rain in Rodanthe. I think getting to Duck might be hard-pressed based on today's model runs. New Year's Day, 45, 44 on Monday, 51 on Tuesday. I got some beautiful shots. Can I just show you this? You know the name Huntington, Collis P. Huntington? I got parents in Huntington, West Virginia. But Huntington, you know, he was big on railroads. He was big on naval ships. There you go. So you got that beautiful picture from Charles. Newport News. Newport News and Huntington, like you got Huntington Park. You got so much Huntington all over this place. Anyway, evening sky. Thank you, Charles, for sharing that beautiful, glorious picture. And it's part of our WTKR Photographers Facebook group. Fort Monroe sunrise from Bradley Fullwood. Ooh, does that look cool? I mean, those birds look like they're moving. Even though it's a still photo, it just really looks cool. And I thank you, Bradley. Happy New Year to you, my friend. And last but not least, Oscar Acevedo, Virginia Beach. This is Stumpy Lake, my friend. Stumpy Lake evening. This just looks beautiful. It looks breathtaking. And it's really a great way to end 2025 and look forward to 2026, because you know what? Every day is a gift, and I guess we could extrapolate and say every year is a gift no matter what you're doing. Don't see much in the way of clouds right now, but a few may come back. We're looking for a high of 46 tomorrow, 45 on Thursday. Did I mention we've got $5 Pozzolis? I'm telling you what, if you're looking for a deal, I don't know how many places, especially drive-thrus, where you can get a full meal for $5. This is really sweet. WTKR David, the promo code, my personal favorite, pepperoni and sausage, but you may prefer the buffalo chicken or the chicken bacon rancher pepperoni. Any one of those options are available to you if you use the promo code WTKR David. There are now 6 locations participating in this Pozzoli $5 giveaway. They're giving away free pizza for a year if you sign up. You only have to sign up once. You simply go to our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos. Takes a minute to sign up. The pizza for a year certificate will be given not tomorrow, but Thursday. We're going to do it on time this week. If you win, your name will go in the upper left-hand corner. It will be mailed to you. That's why we have to register. It is randomly drawn, randomly selected. Our friend Lynn Old won a couple of weeks ago, and he's now, I understand, from yesterday's stream in Australia. Hot dog, lucky man, gets to be in Australia, but he's enjoying his Marco's Pizza for a year. When he gets back, he can continue on in January. Pozzolis are on the left. They're pepperoni magnifico, if you like the old style cup pepperoni. And I didn't mention, but they also have some great ideas in subs. The steak and cheese looks delicious, but the Italiano and Chicken Club, check them out. If you like Marco's, yes, they have ham and cheese. They got meatball subs, and they have great desserts. The Cine Squares I've tried. I have not tried the one with chocolate, but I might have to do that next. And the double chocolate brownies are also great. So just want to thank our friends at Marco's and thank you for watching. If you want to check out our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos, to satisfy your appetite. Again, appreciate your time. Just remember, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny. And it was sunny today, but it was cold. It was seriously cold, but it was sunny. Every day is a gift, my friend. Every day we get is a gift. Because what's the alternative? Just being 6 feet under? That's no good. That doesn't work. So make your plans now. You got 365 days next year. You can make it whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want to make it, you can make it. We'll see you here next time. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.